Yeah, Barcelona with a 4-1 win. They will finish then in the top 8. Barca, of course, a lot of fun to watch once again here today, Ali, getting the job done. You can almost write the script for them at the moment.
Yeah. This was Barcelona against Slavia Praga last week.
Yeah.
And this is Barcelona. This is who they are. If you haven't seen Barcelona play this season, this is who they are. They'll give up goals, but they'll create chance after chance after chance, and eventually they have too much in the attack. But if you're able to threaten and take advantage of the opportunities that you can create against Barcelona and trouble them defensively, you will get your goals. It's whether you can defend against Barcelona. Copenhagen hung on as long as they could in the first half, once the second half started, and that early goal changed everything. Then it was all the momentum with Barcelona. Lamine Yamal, once again, excellent, particularly in the second half.
Jurgen, I know you know Hansi Flick well. Is his health going to be able to cope with Barcelona doing this to him every single match?
Oh, he loves that. I mean, he loves that. He always says, I want to score one more goal than the opponent. That's it. If it's 4-3, 5-4, or 6-5, doesn't matter to Hansi Flick. No, it's his philosophy. It's his. He takes those risks. He knows that he takes those risks, and obviously it's to discuss. A lot of people say you cannot do that, but he moves forward with his philosophy, and he wants just to play attacking-minded football, and he takes the risk of conceding constantly counter-break goals from the opponents. But he still ends up winning the games.
It's great.
We shouldn't complain, should we?
No, exactly.
No.
Because
watching Real Madrid can be a chore at times.
Yes, yeah, and
I mean, he's taking these players, and he's basically saying to them, "Go out there and express yourselves." And also,
but is this going to bite them in the bottom?
Well,
like it did against Inter in this.
Well, it could do in the Champions League. I mean, it might do in La Liga. I don't know. Less likely to do in La Liga, but I think it could do in the Champions League. I mean, I don't want to be too harsh on him, but I don't think Gerard Martin's getting in many other teams in La Liga. Certainly not in the top half. And yet here Hansi Flick gets a tune out of him at centre-half and at left-back when he needs to be. And what he's done with Eric Garcia is just fantastic. Eric Garcia is nothing more than a squad player, really, at most. He plays right-back, he plays centre-back, he plays centre midfield. For all the stars that Hansi Flick has, it's people like Eric Garcia that are worth their weight in gold for a manager like this, because he can go and do a job in any position. So, yeah, I mean, defensively, it's like, I don't know. It's like throwing a dart. It's like throwing 100 darts at the dartboard. I don't know how many are going to hit and stick and stay on there. You just don't know, because they're not going to change. They're going to be a huge threat going forward. Right, you've got Ferran Torres to come back fit. They've got Pedri back, I think, in 3 or 4 weeks, so he needs to stay fit. You've got Lewandowski will probably go back to the bench. That's a big hitter to come on. They have so much going forward with Fermin Lopez as well, who's been in great form. But the big conundrum is what the hell's going to happen with the back four.
How old's Piqué and Puyol? Are they too old?
I think so, Stephen.
Yeah. That's a shame.
Well, we get Stevie Nicol back.
That's a shame.
Maybe Reece James could go there and play.
Harry Kane then with the winner, Bayern 2, PSV 1. Bayern would finish second then overall for a preferred draw when it comes to the round of 16. There is so much talent up front that Vincent Kompany is going to have obviously on hand with Musiala back, Jurgen. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out obviously between now and the end of the season, and whether or not Bayern can do it outside of Germany and make it all the way in this competition.
Yeah, there's a lot of excitement at the moment in Munich. I was just there last week, and people want this Champions League so badly because they didn't make it to the final last year, when it was in their own stadium. It is huge excitement also for the combination, obviously, for Lennart Karl and Musiala coming back now after his brutal injury that he suffered in the Club World Cup. And seeing them both on the field was really exciting, and the combination that they had, for the first goal there, coming off the young kids, Bischoff going forward into Karl passes on to Musiala. This is what, the entire nation basically is watching and is asking, is this Lennart Karl kid 17 years old? Is he going to the World Cup in the summer to the United States? This is the big discussion in Munich or in Germany in general. But having Musiala back is huge. Then obviously they They left Harry Kane on the bench, but another huge substitution that happened, and not only that Harry came in the last half an hour and scored his goal, was also Alphonso Davies is back as well, on the field. So when you have these type of players, these difference makers, I call them, at your disposal towards the most important months of the season, meaning now February, March, April, into the final then of May. This is big. This is a big deal, and it looks like Bayern Munich is having all these guys at their disposal. So that's huge, But I want to give also a compliment to PSV Eindhoven. They actually played a real good game. They have created chances, and there was a certain kid, Serginho Dest, on the field that played a fantastic game actually against Luis Diaz there on his side. So that's another good news for the American national team, the U.S. national team, that they're doing their job there in Europe. And it was an enjoyable game to watch.
You've got to look at Harry Kane, haven't you? I mean, as well. He's in his early 30s now, I believe. He played for a team in Tottenham, obviously, that weren't always the team at the top, but scoring goals for fun, scoring great goals, dropping back into midfield, playing great, just an all-round player. Still doing it, and has done since he went to Germany. There's not a team in the world that he couldn't just go and play up front and score goals. Not a team. That's how, I think he's taken his game.
What if people say, it's the Bundesliga, anyone could score 30 goals there? You're playing for Bayern.
No. Lewandowski scored. No. Because that just gets knocked out the ballpark with his numbers at Tottenham, who were, for long periods, nowhere near the best team. They had a good spell under Pochettino, but for long periods were even struggling to get in the top four. And yet his numbers were incredible. His numbers for England are incredible. Harry Kane could go and play in any team in Europe and be the number 9 and score goals and lead the line. Just such a clever player.
Harry Kane right now, to further the point, is actually a more complete player than his time at Spurs. He's doing things. He's always liked this idea, kind of dropping into deeper positions and sort of facilitating and also being a guy that can score goals. But he's actually rounded out his game to where now there is vision, there is change of point of the attack, there is hold-up play. He can't quite run away from people, but he always finds a way to get himself on the end of crosses as well. So if he were sacrificing his goal scoring for being a guy who's playing underneath, then I'd be saying, this is a guy that's getting older and doesn't quite have the legs to get there. No. He's dropping in, but he's also scoring goals. Far more complete player now than what he was at Spurs. And I think if you were to ask him, he would want to roll back the years with all this experience that he has now accumulated over the course of his career.
And not sign for Spurs in the first place?
Well, that would be a good start. But the point being that I think he now sees the complete picture on the field, and you can see it in the level of performance. Bayern Munich is a team that should be among the favorites in this competition, but if you want to point at something that it's a shortcoming, defending set pieces is an issue, and the middle of midfield is an issue. Beyond Joshua Kimmich, the question of Goretzka and Pavlovic is going to come up time and time again, and that's an area where they can be exposed once they play against teams like Arsenal, like Barcelona, PSG, those teams that can have control of the midfield. I don't know that Bayern Munich has enough there.
Is that a concern for you as well, Jurgen?
Yeah, no, that's definitely a discussion to have. I mean, that's where, they're vulnerable. They're vulnerable at set pieces, at corner kicks here and there. And this discussion, in defensive midfield has always been a part of, our talks over the last couple of years when we talk about Bayern Munich. But I just think that this team now is so mature and is so driven and has so much quality that they definitely are among the top 4 in Europe, and the path of Harry Kane is just a wonderful story to follow, because he became, as you said, absolute complete player, but also a fantastic leader. He guides these young Musialas, Karls, Bischoffs, and all these younger players. He feels like it's almost an obligation for him to tell them what to do, how to do it. And so he really kind of enjoys his time there at Bayern Munich. And the lifestyle in Munich is very simple. They live and die for the Champions League. They want to win that trophy so badly. So you hear that every day from the people in the streets. If you go to the baker, the butcher, wherever you go, it's all about the Champions League. And when you have that kind of feeling that you're responsible actually to deliver this trophy sooner or later, probably more sooner than later, then that drives you. That drives you in training. It drives you in your conversations with your friends, with your teammates. And I think Harry Kane is enjoying that. You know, he knows what is expected from him. He delivers it in an incredible way. And if he's able to fulfill his dream and wins the Champions League at the end of this year, then you obviously go with very, very kind of large shoulders towards the World Cup and play for England.
Yes, and lift the World Cup, Jurgen.
And hopefully have a quiet
beat
summer.
Germany in the final.